check out what we just have in our workshop. We got a new Volcon Brat Cafe Racer E-Bike. 20-inch by 4 fat wheels. Really like the look, actually. I might even like it a tad a little bit more over than the Rev 1 Ride 1 Up. Let's check out our new toy and remove the plastic inserts. Alright, plugged in the battery. And let's go for a little bit of a spin. So, you do have to connect your, you have to download the app to get this bike over 30 miles per hour. You have to connect it on the Bluetooth app, sign a waiver, and that'll get you over 30 miles per hour. If you don't do that, the bike will only go up to 25, 26 miles per hour. They'll ask you to scan your barcode. Your barcode is in the compartment so that they could pair your bike via Bluetooth. Alright, so here's the top speed. It gets to 30 miles per hour generally slow. We're barely at 29 miles per hour. And yeah, I guess sometimes it's just, there's 30 miles per hour. I'm a 155-pound rider. This bike, right off the bat, is only 750 watt motor, so it's a pretty tiny motor. In comparison to my other e-bikes, it's somewhat of a tiny motor. We got it because it's such a short gravity bike. We love that it's low to the ground. You know, the seat height is 30-inch high or low in my opinion. Only 30-inch height. So it's going to be perfect for shorter riders and my wife, Crystal. I obviously did not buy this bike for speed, or at least not yet. The form factor is what I really like mostly about it, to be honest. It has vintage colorway. It reminds me of the Hudson Blue Super 73 with the blue and tan color accent themes. I was considering the Rev 1 Up or this one, but I came across this one on Facebook Marketplace. It was brand new. It's somewhat of an impulse buy, but again, it has good options. I'm already doing fitments for upgrading batteries and controller and what have you. But if that's the route you were going for, just note that this is a 190mm dropout bracket size. Originally, I was hoping it was 175mm because I have spare 175mm motors. But I'm still gonna do some tweaking and maybe get this around 40, 42 miles per hour, like my aerial rider or my Super 73. Those are the speeds that I'm happy with. But let's go over the bike really quick. Again, it's a 750 watt motor. There's no brand on it, but they did have their Volcon logo here. It could be their own motor, I'm not entirely sure. It could be a bafang motor. It's a single sprocket gear. It has short cranks like a Super 73. Again, it's a 20 by 4 inch tires. Again, there's no brand name on it, except they did put their name, Volcon, as well. So I guess it's their own brand. I'm not entirely sure how long this will last. It looks like it's on the thin side. But again, it complements the seat. Moving on the seat, it's really one of the most comfortable seats that I've ridden because it's thin. It's only like 4 inches wide and really plush. It has like a lot of give. It's not exactly leather, but it feels like one of those, feels like a car seat, to be honest, because of that seat is really attractive and it sits low. The light is actually bright. I have night video, so we'll play that here. It's okay, but it's not the brightest, you know? If I had a guesstimate, it's gonna be probably around 600 to 800 lumens. I'm not sure I was able to find the specs online, but I'm pretty sure it's around those numbers. Yeah, the front light is it could be brighter. The rear light is small, but it's pretty bright LED. That's what happens when it hits the brake. It gets even brighter. Moving into the suspensions, it's no brand again, but it's 8 inches tall, and it gives me about 2.5 inch of travel, so it's pretty good in my opinion. Let's move on to the compartment. I love that the weight again is all here, right? So any modifications I do will have low center of gravity, having all the weight down here, not up here like the Super 73 bikes. Yeah, I like that there's a compartment, and it's close to 5 liters in size. There's a USB charger, so that's kind of cool. You could fit like 3-4 water bottles in there. Let's move on to the front side of the bike. It's somewhat of an inverted fork, so that gives you a lot of clearance for your turning ratio. It looks like it has a notch there that'll stop it from going any further, kind of like the Onyx style. The controller's packed in here. It's pretty tiny. Again, it's a 48 volt controller. I opened it up. I didn't get to see how many amp it pushes. So again, it's probably like 20-25 amp only. So that's something I'm going to look to upgrade. The suspensions in the front are also pretty good. It gives me about 3 inch of travel. You can change the compression settings here. I don't think it's an air suspension. It's probably coil. The difference between this blue and the black version of what they're selling is the handlebars. The blue version has a little bit more of a riser, so that's a little bit more comfortable. It has dual disc brakes, 180 mil in the front and the rear rotors. Yeah, I've only driven it for 2 miles. I really like it. I think the fenders could have more coverage. I feel like I'm not sure exactly what this will cover, but thankfully it doesn't really rain much here, and the summer is coming up too, so I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this bike. It has some curves, right? It's not as an aggressive looking bike like the Rev 1 Up or the Super 73, but the form factor, I think, is what made me jump on this bike again. I wanted a low bike and a customizable bike, and the Rev 1 Up was one of them. I was definitely interested in one of them, but in the end, this is an impulse buy. This is what was available on Facebook Marketplace, so I'm just playing the cards that I was given, in other words. But so far, loving it. I love the brown blue colorway. It's kind of like vintage, nautical-ish kind of deal going on. So moving on to the handlebar, the electrical settings, PS goes up to 4. There's not much you can do in terms of change settings. This is your on and off light switch for the front and the rear. It does have taillight brakes connected and integrated. It has a twist throttle instead of a thumb throttle. And the one thing that I'm noticing too is the PAS is actually not cadence sensor. It's torque sensor, and I've actually haven't ridden much torque sensor bikes, especially not on a cafe racer. Pedaling is good for my height again. I don't have problems with it, and this seat allows me to pedal comfortably, unlike wider seats. But torque sensor is like when I'm on PAS4, I would have to pedal harder to get assistance. So versus PAS1, I don't have to pedal hard and the motor will activate already. Does that make sense? So the higher your PAS number is, the harder you have to pedal to get assistance. But again, this is day 1 on this bike. I finally had some time to add some miles on it. Oh, and the other thing too is For some reason, PS1, you don't have throttle. And the app is very limited to what you can do. This bike is not made for speed. Yet. Or is it? Because I'm going to ask how Crystal likes this bike. 3 options in mind, what I'm going to do with this bike. Either add the base runner controller that I have on it and have a 52 volt setup, hopefully go up to 40-ish miles per hour, or a 72 volt controller. So I'm going to play around with that. The horn switch is right here, and it's actually just underneath the storage case where the horn is located. It's pretty loud. It's not like motorcycle loud, but it's like a moped horn for sure. If I had to guess, it's probably around 80 decibels, if I had to guess. That's not bad. It'll get people's attention for sure. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, turn is nice. Again, the ground control is nice, being low. It reminds me of the Super73 Z1, but it has dual suspensions. That part is super amazing, and it's actually more comfortable to ride than Super73 RX. And that's at least my day one impression of it. For cafe racer style, it's very, very nimble, really good turning ratios. So yeah, I'm definitely looking to modify this bike. So stick around for more content. Check out the useful links in the description below for discounts on a Super73, arielrider, or a DIY bafang kit. Folks, this is E-Bike Adventure signing out. See you guys in the next one. Peace. Let's go through this bump. Oh yeah, like nothing. There's that big dip right there. Felt like nothing.